Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Wrestling with the Apester. I am the Apester himself, of course. And man, what a Survivor Series we had. We're going to get right into it right away, man. We are going to be covering Survivor Series, results, all that, my predictions as well. I'm going to give you my predictions as to what I thought was going to happen. I was going to make a predictions video, but I was like, you know what, I'll just give the predictions on the review, the results podcast episode. So we had three monumental returns. Of course, I'll save the best for last, man. We had Randy Orton, who came out to be the fifth member of the men's Survivor Series tag team. We had CM Punk. And then we had R-Truth. Guys, our freaking Truth is back for the first time in, I'm going to say maybe like a year or whatever it was. R-Truth is back in WWE, man. So freaking cool. Freaking very happy to see it. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and straight away, we're going to review this here. I'm going to give you my predictions first before we go in. I mean, it may only make sense that I do that. There's no specific order to this. So I'm just going to read it off through here, like the matches that were scheduled. They're not many. To be honest with you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches on here. On the show, so wasn't much. It's pretty short, man. It went by pretty quick. But anyway, so let's see. Which match can we start? Let's talk about Santos Escobar versus Dragon Lee. I had my sights set on Carlito winning that, but seeing as Dragon Lee replaced him, because of course Santos Escobar attacked Carlito backstage a few weeks ago, and of course that injured Carlito, and that led to Santos Escobar having to face Dragon Lee because Dragon Lee wanted to replace Carlito in respect to Rey Mysterio or whatever it was. So my take on this one was Santos Escobar. However, if Carlito were to be in the match, then I would say Carlito. But in this case, Santos Escobar. I've predicted Santos Escobar, and he actually won. But I'll get into that after. So the next match, let's talk about the Intercontinental Championship Gunther versus the Intercontinental Champion Gunther versus The Miz. I 100% said Gunther was going to win it. I predicted Gunther was going to retain. There was a sliver in me that told me, ooh, I want to see The Miz do it. I think The Miz will do it, but then for the most part, like I predicted Gunther. Now let's talk about the women's War Games match. It was Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch versus the Damage Control. My initial prediction for this one, some cops outside. I didn't do it. Anyway, seriously, I didn't do it. War Games match. I predicted Team Bianca Belair to win this, so that would be the team of Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch. I predicted that. You know, I did predict some shenanigans throughout the match with Damage Control and taking Bayley out of Damage Control and all that. I did kind of predict that as well, which I'd have to look into. I don't really remember if any of that happened, but I think there was a spot where Bayley saved Becky or something in the match, or I'm not sure. I'd have to read on, but I was kind of in and out of the paper, as I always am. I mean, I'm always in and out because I'm always like busy doing something outside. You know, it's like. Anyway, so the next match I'm going to cover is, let's cover the Women's World Heavyweight Championship match with Rhea Ripley and Zoe Stark. I predicted Rhea Ripley would have won that 100%. There's no way Zoe Stark's taking it from her. No way. I predicted Rhea Ripley. And last but not least, the men's War Game match. Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Randy Orton versus the Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre. I predicted that obviously Team Seth and Cody Rhodes, I predicted that team would win for two reasons. One, it's the babyface team. I knew it was going to be the main event because of Randy Orton's return. And number two, obviously Randy Orton's return. Randy Orton wouldn't return to a loss. I mean, I'm pretty damn sure of that. So, yeah, those are my predictions. So, I'm going to run through it one more time. My predictions for the Survivor Series 2023 was that Santos Escobar would have defeated Dragon Lee. Gunther would have defeated The Miz. Bianca Belair and teammates would have defeated Damage Control. Rhea Ripley would have defeated Zoe Stark. And the men's War Game match, Seth Rollins and teammates would have won their respective War Games match. And I was 100% correct on all of that. Those were my predictions. I'm not saying that because I'm reading it off the thing right now. I swear to God, those were my predictions. I know, to make it seem a little bit more real, I think I should, make a predictions podcast and upload it before Survivor Series even comes up, because that would be a little bit more realistic. But you're gonna have to take my word for it. I'm being dead serious that those were my predictions. But there was another prediction too, and I was pretty mixed on this, was that Shinsuke Nakamura, if he were to come out and issue an open challenge to whoever, or to this mystery person that he's been calling out the past couple weeks, I would have predicted CM Punk 100% would have came out for that, which that did not happen. But yeah, let's get straight into the main show here. So, of course, the main show kicks off with a video package set to War Pigs hyping up the War Games matches. War Pigs, of course, being the theme here, the theme music here for Survivor Series by Black Sabbath, of course. Everybody knows Ozzy Osbourne. So the first match we had of the night was Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, and Shotzi Blackheart. Wow, they called her by Shotzi Blackheart in this article. I don't think she's Shotzi Blackheart anymore. But anyway, so it was them versus Damage Control, Asuka, Bayley, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane in a War Games match. What a way to start off Survivor Series. Bayley and Becky Lynch, of course, start the match. I'm not going to really read off of this, but Shotzi comes out as the third entrant. I'm going to call them entrants. Io Sky comes out number 4, of course. Bianca Belair enters at 5th. Kairi Sane comes out 6th. Charlotte Flair comes out 7th. And finally, Asuka comes out 8th. And that's when the match begins officially. Now, I'm just going to mark out like the highlights of the match here. I think the highlights here, for me, the number one highlight was Io Sky going to the top of the War Games cage, putting a trash can over her head and jumping off the top of it and landing on top of everybody down below. That was the greatest spot of the match, maybe even the greatest spot of the night. Not the greatest moment of the night, I'll get to that one, but probably the greatest spot of the night. But man, this crowd was on their feet for this match. I'm just going to read probably like the ending of the match here. Electric chair from the EST, missile drop kick, doomsday device against Bayley makes the save. Becky going down going to town on Sane. Inverted DDT, Bayley slides over, Rose Plant, Blackheart, they're referring to Shotzi, cuts her off. Bianca sprays the fire extinguisher at Asuka as she was spraying the mist, I believe. But Sky takes her out with a chair shot. Tiger suplex from Shotzi. Trash can assisted from Kairi. Charlotte with a boot. Laying in wait, Bayley takes the spear for Kairi. Shotzi up top. Diving senton. Bianca with the KOD. Becky up top. Table in place. Of course, Becky, Bianca, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi win by pinfall with an avalanche manhandle slam through the table from Becky Lynch onto Bayley. That's how the match ended. Officially, the official thought here, looks like they didn't grade it, never mind, so there is no official thought, but my take on it, I thought it was a cool match. I mean, like I said, I was in and out of the match, so I don't want to read all this, like I said, I'm just not going to bother with it. But like I said, the highlight of that match for sure was when Io went to the top of the cage and jumped off with a trash can on her head. And let's not forget, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair hug it out. Yeah, in the match somewhere in there, they actually hugged, which was pretty cool to see that as well. So the four horsewomen coming together again. Hopefully they do something with them. Maybe even a tag team run would be nice, like a tag team title run, I should say, would be really cool. But yeah, again, Becky Lynch and team, of course, they beat Damage Control. Pretty cool match, not bad. Takes us to a backstage skit. Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, and the most of Alpha Academy. The only person that was not on there was Chad Gable. They were hanging out backstage, watching the show, eating some Ruffles. Pretty Deadly roll up, and they were basically arguing. Pretty Deadly and Otis was arguing that they were called. Otis was saying, "Oh, they're called chips." And Pretty Deadly's like, no, they're crisps. And then Otis says, no, they're chips. Chips, crisps. See, kind of a tongue twister. Next thing you know, we get the greatest return in wrestling history. R-Truth is here to play Peacemaker. Here he is. He comes out here and he's like, come on, man, let's keep it together. That one way or another, they're absolutely delicious. And basically, this whole thing was just an advertisement for Ruffles. Of course, we're brought to you by Ruffles and Slim Jims here tonight, so you're going to be hearing me say that probably throughout the podcast. So that takes us to another backstage skit with Sami Zayn. He's just hanging out with Jey Uso. They're basically having a chat, and Sami's worried. Sami Zayn's worried that he is not going to show up, referring to Randy Orton, saying that, oh, Randy Orton hasn't even showed up yet. Where is he? And he doesn't want to raise alarms, but, Randy Orton's still not there. Uso says he was worried about it, and he doesn't think Randy would want to team with him anyway for putting him on the shelf. So basically referring to the fact that Jey Uso and the rest of the bloodline took Randy Orton out. And that's what caused Randy Orton to be injured in the first place and be out for about a year and a half now in the first place. So, yeah, there's a lot of tension between that, especially how on Monday Night Raw, Cody got a text there. Sorry about that. But yeah, so Monday Night Raw, Cody Rhodes revealed that he made a phone call, and at the end of the night, we found out they didn't say the name Randy Orton, but they poked teases, and it was 100% chance, of that, obviously. But he was like, "Oh, it's an Apex Predator. Somebody I had a legacy with, all that, a Viper, all that, the Apex Predator." And then he goes, "Oh, well, the crowd is absolutely right. The crowd chanting this guy's name, of course. Yeah, they're absolutely right." And that was it. Now Cody did not mention Randy Orton's name at all. So, mind you, it could have literally been Repo Man for all we know. Yeah, Simon Miller, I'm sorry, I took your trademark there. Anyway, but yeah, and if you watch that on Monday Night Raw and you look closely at Jey Uso, he looked pretty concerned. He was like, I took him out. The last time he was here, me and my bloodline brethren, we took him out. And he's going to come back. I wonder what he's going to say to me. He's going to be like, oh, I remember. I'm not going to forget that. And honestly, that did happen in that match, and I'll get into that soon. But anyway, yeah, they're basically Sami Zayn, Jey Uso's backstage. They're having a chat. They're like, hey, we're just worried that Randy Orton's not here. We don't want to raise alarms or anything like that. But yeah, Sami Zayn reassures him that none of this is his fault. It's not Jey Uso's fault. And they have history in war games themselves, and whether Randy is here or not, no matter what happens, Sammy has his back. They embrace, and Jey goes off to talk to Cody. And that takes us to our next match. Gunther versus The Miz. It's the Intercontinental Championship match. Obviously, I predicted Gunther would have retained, and he did. Yeah, I thought this was an okay match. Cool. We had some spots in there here and there where we thought Miz was going to get it. He did hit a low blow, the first time he thought he hit a low blow, but he actually kicked him in the knee. But then the second time around, 100% he hit him with that low blow. He went for the pin. 1, 2, ooh, really close, just about barely was gonna hit the 3, but Gunther kicked out. I actually thought it was over there, but Gunther kicked out. That's when I was like, yep, Gunther 100%, he's retaining. Even though I predicted it regardless, but there was a slight sliver in me that was like, all right, I want to see Miz win it. Miz is gonna do it, but yeah, at some point in the match, there were a bunch of chops. The Miz, I think, hit some chops on Gunther, and Gunther was just like, what are you doing, dude? That's my move. And then he hits him with some chops, and Miz just gets taken down. I know one of the highlights in the match, too, Miz did a figure 4 leg lock on the ring post, which was crazy to see. Miz fires back with some kicks and chops. There was a moment in the match, obviously, where I believe the turnbuckle pad was removed. And that's how the referee got distracted, and he was trying to put the pad on, and that's when the Miz took advantage of that and tried to hit him with the low blow. And again, like I said, the first time around, it didn't work. He kicked him in it seemed like in the knee. And then the second time around, he kicked him again. This time, it actually hit him right in his jewels. He went for the pin. The referee saw it. 1, 2, near fall. Freaking 2 3/4 it was. But it all... Oh, sorry, I just got a text message. So it all leads to this. I'm just going to read the rest of it out. Basically, Gunther has him in a submission maneuver, and the Miz taps out. I'm just going to read it here. Calling for it. Gunther breaks the Nelson this time. Miz puts him into the exposed turnbuckle, reverses into a pin. Nope. Kicks connect, left hands. Gunther takes him out with a lariat. The ring general going up top, diving splash into a Boston Crab. Miz posts up on his hands. Gunther takes him into the middle of the ring and adjusts. And of course, that leads to Miz. He couldn't handle it. That leads to him tapping out. Still, you're Intercontinental Champion. Gunther... So here it says right here, Gunther wins by submission with a lion tamer, retaining the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Really cool. Not bad of a match. I liked it. I wish Miz would have won it, but hey, it is what it is. I think Miz will win it one day, one more time again. And I found it really cool that before this match, Michael Cole did mention Chris Jericho. And it's funny because he mentioned that, I believe it was on Raw. I don't know if it was Raw or SmackDown. I'm pretty sure it was Raw. On Monday Night Raw, where he said, he could tie the record at 9 times. But he didn't mention Chris Jericho. But this time, at Survivor Series, he mentioned Chris Jericho. He brought up his name. So, yeah, and it's funny, because at the press conference, too, this is a little out of topic, but after the show, of course, there was the press conference, and one of the questions asked to Triple H was... about Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose, of course, and about injuries and all that. And yeah, I found it kind of crazy that guy asked Triple H a question about injuries and stuff, but name dropped Jon Moxley. But anyway, back into full swing here. Just trying to get back in full gears. Yeah, I couldn't find the right term for that. Anyway, so Gunther beats the Miz by submission. Of course, Miz taps out to a lion tamer, retains the Intercontinental Championship. Cool match, not bad. Okay, so now we're backstage again, the backstage segment with the Judgment Day. They're having a chat, and Dominic Mysterio rolls up and say a dirty little birdie told him that Randy Orton isn't showing up, and they were all celebrating like, hey, Randy Orton's not going to be here, the rumor has it. Little do they know, man, he was there, all right. Finn Balor says either Orton is missing and they have an advantage, or he'll show up and poison the babyface team from the inside. But yeah, that takes us to the next match, though. Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar. I kind of was not paying attention at all to this match, and there's not really much to read on this match. Honestly, it didn't go that long. This is one of those matches where it should have just been on Monday Night Raw or something, it was, or SmackDown, whatever the hell roster they were on. I don't even freaking know anymore. I'm pretty sure they're on SmackDown, but, man, it's just one of those things where it's one of those matches. It shouldn't have been on the pay-per-view. It was a waste of time. It was literally like a 10-minute match, if that. I mean, I don't freaking know. It didn't feel like more than 10 minutes, to be honest with you. It was just a quick one, quick match. 1, 2, 3, Santos Escobar gets over kind of match. Obviously, Santos Escobar was going to win that either way, but if I couldn't have imagined what the match would have been like if Carlito were in it. It would have been a different story. I feel like Carlito would have won it, because he kind of just returned. But then at the same time, we got Santos Escobar, who they're trying to build up. But I hear Humberto Carrillo and I forgot the other guy's name, was going to be joining Santos. So, yeah, that ought to be pretty cool. That's rumor going around, though. So, I guess I can read the whole thing here because it's literally really short. But Dragon Lee charges in with a boot. Escobar sidesteps and puts the boot to him. Whip across. Cover for a 2 count, pressing the attack, trapping Dragon Lee's leg in the steps the same way he got Rey Mysterio's leg. Lee fights out of it and kicks him from the apron. Back inside, running knee, cover for the 2 count. Up top, Santos cuts him off. Inzaguri sets up a Frankensteiner, cover for a 2 count, tearing at Dragon Lee's mask, practically ripping it off his head over referee Ryan Tran's objections. Putting boots to him, taking him to the apron, overhead elbows, drawing him up, jockeying for position. Dragon Lee, Tree of Woe, double stomp for a 2 count. Trading knees, Lee lays him out with a Liger bomb. Charging in, Santos reverses, flip pile driver connects, and that's it. Santos Escobar pins him for the win. Done. Santos Escobar wins by pinfall with the Phantom Driver. Yeah, that's literally the match. I mean, it literally was like 10 minutes, maybe, if that. It was alright. Like I said, it was one of those Monday Night Raw matches or Friday Night SmackDown matches. I feel like it should have just been on there. This was just a waste of time. And speaking of a waste of time, where the hell is Logan Paul? Because he is wasting our time here with the United States Championship. I feel like he should have been on the show replacing this match. But man, it's funny how he wins the United States Championship and he never shows up ever again. I had a feeling this was going to happen. But man, I really hope to see Logan Paul again on TV because he has only because he has the United States Championship. He should have really been on the show tonight. I mean, if Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar could be on there, then he could be on there. I mean, seriously, like really, and more importantly, Roman Reigns. That really upsets me that Roman Reigns was not on the card. This is one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, like, and to see that our biggest champion, quote unquote, is not even there, that's just very bad. Speaking of which, I don't know what the next pay-per-view is, like for December. I don't think we even have a premium live event scheduled for December, to be honest with you, but anyway, back on track here. Santos Escobar wins by pinfall with the Phantom Driver over Dragon Lee. I don't know. I didn't really like the match. It should have just been on Monday Night Raw. Sorry, freaking SmackDown, wherever the hell they're on. LA Knight does a Slim Jim ad next, of course. I did not catch this, actually. I don't remember seeing this. But LA Knight does a Slim Jim advertisement. And then this I remember. The New Day rolls up in a Slim Jim car. Basically the exact same car that LA Knight rolled up in. I think it was the last premium live event. And all of it amounts to very little, obviously, meaning like it doesn't mean much. It's just an advertisement to Slim Jims. You know, it's brought to you by Slim Jim. Slim Jim, Slim Jim, Slim Jim. Yeah, we don't care. That takes us to our second to last match tonight, which is Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Again, one of those matches I feel like we should have just seen on Monday Night Raw. Oh, it really wasn't that good. I mean, Zoe Stark got some offense in a little bit, but Rhea Ripley basically squashed her. She beat the crap out of her. I mean, I'm just going to read this real quick. Inzaguri from the mat. Rhea drags her up, back suplex facebuster, Northern Lights into the bridge. Nope. Pie facing, jawing at her. I swear to God, I'm just reading this the way it's written here. I swear to you, it's not me. Zoe scoffs and tells her to really hit her. Big slap, pump handle reverse, German suplex from the challenger, basement drop kick connects, cover for the 2 count. Z360 blocked, back elbows for a roundhouse kick, headbutt from the champ, pump handle slam. 1, 2, 3. Rhea Ripley wins by pinfall with the Riptide, retaining the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Again, one of those put it on Monday Night Raw matches. Pretty much almost a squash match, to be honest with you. Zoe Stark came out with this face paint, like this war face paint, whatever the hell she had on her face, and like I said, it was just to put Rhea over. I mean, Rhea's already over as it is, but I didn't imagine Zoe Stark winning this match. I don't see her holding a title belt at all in general. I that's just me. I'm sorry. I just don't see it ever happening. At least not anytime soon. I know this review show is going pretty quickly, and I do apologize. There really wasn't much to go over here. I mean, the event was all right. The main event was the best one, which we're going to get to in just a minute. But hopefully, eventually, I'm not sure when Rhea Ripley's going to lose that World Heavyweight Championship. Probably WrestleMania, maybe to Raquel Rodriguez. I mean, I can't really imagine anybody. I mean, maybe Nia Jax. I hope not, but maybe it leads to Rhea Ripley turning babyface. I mean, she kind of, sort of, not really, is a babyface because people love Mommy. That's what they call her. But yeah, it was, like I said, it was just one of those sort of squash matches. I mean, I'm not saying Zoe Stark got I mean, I kind of am saying it, but I mean, she kind of didn't get squashed, but at the same time she did. But Dragon Lee is the one that really, I think, got squashed in that match. Because, I mean, literally, there's not much written here for this match. It really wasn't that great. I'm not saying the Rhea Ripley match was bad. It's, it's one of those matches, like I said, you see on Monday Night Raw. It's not something that I'm like, oh my god, I have to see this. It wasn't one of the, they haven't built up Zoe Stark for that kind of momentum yet. I don't know. That takes us to yet another and last backstage segment here. Jey Uso and Sami Zayn roll up on Seth Rollins in the locker room and ask where Randy Orton is. Seth doesn't know. Jey is convinced it's his fault. Of course, referring to, Jey Uso and the Bloodline taking out Randy Orton. And maybe Randy Orton doesn't want to team with them because Jey Uso took him out last year. Cody Rhodes appears to promise that he'll be here. Just trust him. Basically saying, yeah, trust me, he's gonna be here. I know he will. I really can see it. And that takes us to the main event. Already 27 minutes in this podcast, and I'm already talking about the main event. But there is a lot to go over here with this one. I can't wait to talk about it. Of course, the second greatest freaking return of all time, Randy Orton. Obviously, the greatest, and of course, the first was R-Truth, and the third was CM Punk. But so we're gonna be talking about the match real quick right here, right now. Cody Rhodes, that was a loud clap. Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, and Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre and the Judgment Day, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough in the War Games match. This is the main event. Finn Balor and Seth Rollins start off the match, which is really cool because they have a history with each other. Basically, Balor's going off on Rollins' suicide dive. There's CM Punk chants going on, but obviously, we don't care about that. So Rollins cuts him off with the super kick, jockeying for position in the gap between rings, and Balor hits with the back body drop onto the diamond plate, obviously, which is that plate that separates the two rings. Very, very cool, by the way, that Cody Rhodes is in this match, considering that, very ironically, his dad is the one that came up with the concept of War Games way back in WCW or WCCW, whatever it was called back in the day. But JD McDonough comes out third eventually. And of course, they're double teaming on Seth Rollins. The timer's double suplex as the timer ticks, and Jey Uso is the fourth man. Now he has backup. They're double team. They're going out at one another. Of course, the yeet chants are going out, and I don't know where the yeet came from for Jey Uso. It just came out of nowhere. I mean, he just came out one night on Monday Night Raw with a yeet t-shirt on. I honestly don't even know. Enziguri, JD McDonough cuts him off with a running Spanish fly. Stereo super kicks from the baby faces. The countdown timer begins again. Drew McIntyre wants in, but Damian Priest cuts him off and orders him to stick to the plan. Of course, Damian Priest comes out at the 5th. Of course, Priest has a collapsible baton and wails on Seth Rollins and Uso with it. Broken arrow on Jay. Reverse into an STO on Seth. Up top, Senton Atomico wipes them both out, putting boots to Rollins. Balor with chair shots for Uso. The countdown timer ticks again. Of course, Sami Zayn comes out 6th. Yeah, so at this point, the match is getting pretty intense. Smashing Balor with the door. Zayn goes under the ring and gets a table. The crowd goes crazy for this, obviously, because everybody wants tables. Everybody loves tables. A lariat sends Priest's ass over tea kettle head first into the diamond plate, and Sammy dances on his ribs. They use the word ass in this article, which is kind of funny. By the way, I'm reading this off of CageSideSeats.com. How hilarious is that? Blue Thunderbomb driver for Finn Balor, headed up top. JD climbs up after him, but only gets his face smashed into the steel and then crotched on the top rope. Zayn with a lead pipe, and he blasts JD and Finn Balor with it. Damian Priest cuts him off. Leapfrog pipe shot to Sami Zayn fired. Sami Zayn is fired up. Babyface is holding court. The countdown timer begins again. And, of course, Drew McIntyre comes out at number 7. Eventually, Cody Rhodes comes out at number 8. And, of course, Dominic Mysterio comes out number 9. All of a sudden, we get to... before I get to that, actually, Dominic Mysterio is number 9. Mysterio with the sporadic punches to the boots. 3 Amigos on Cody, circled by the baby faces, and they all beat him down, leaning a table in the corner, setting Dom up for a powerbomb, but the Judgment Day save him once again. JD McDonald is choking Cody in the ropes. Drew squaring up with Damian. Priest grabs Seth by the neck. Drew does as well. Left hand on Sammy, right hand on Cody. Double choke slams, which was pretty cool to see that. Setting up the table, horizontal, picking up Seth, and a razor's edge through the table. The countdown timer begins. So basically at this point in the match, Judgment Day has control. The timer's going down. Of course, the timer hits 0, and nothing happens for a couple seconds until the Judgment Day or the Rhea Ripley's theme song starts playing or whatever. Rhea Ripley comes running down as fast as she possibly can with the Money in the Bank briefcase with the referee. And Rhea Ripley's basically telling the referee, cash it in. And I knew there was going to be some kind of Money in the Bank shenanigans. I know my friend from work said otherwise, but I was like, dude, there's going to be some kind of shenanigans. I didn't think it was going to happen this way, but during the night, of course, when they had said, like, hey, Randy Orton's not here yet, that's when I thought, okay, my prediction now is that, Randy Orton's not going to be in the match for that long, maybe because of his back injury, I'm not sure, but he's definitely going to come out last, or maybe, like, last minute, he's going to come out and save the team. And, of course, that'll lead to the team winning, and that will be the end of the show. That was my prediction. Of course, at that point, after they had said, of course, Randy Orton is not here yet, that was my prediction after they said that. But anyway, Rhea Ripley's trying to, cash it in. Damian Priest is going to cash it in right now. Seth Rollins had went through the table before with a razor's edge, so Seth Rollins is down and out. All the other teammates are down and out, so this was a perfect opportunity. All of a sudden, Randy Orton's theme song plays, and the match officially begins. Randy Orton comes out to a massive ovation, massive cheers to Randy Orton. He looked freaking great. Randy Orton looked fantastic. He was jacked. Man, he had been working out, and man, I'm just so happy to see Randy Orton back. I'm not sure what we're going to do next. Maybe we'll do a feud with Randy and Jay. We could be maybe even like a a heel turn maybe with Randy Orton, maybe even Randy versus Cody, maybe Cody and Randy team up again at one point, maybe win the tag team titles one last time, perhaps. Many different things we can do here. But Randy Orton comes out, the match officially begins, and here we go. This match just picked up. I didn't think, by the way, that Randy Orton was going to hit any RKOs, because I was thinking throughout the match, like, okay, Randy Orton's here now, are we going to see an RKO now because of, his back? And I heard a lot of speculation that Randy Orton can't really do much to his back now because of his injuries and all that, like he can't really do the RKO. And my prediction for that overall, and I told my friend the same thing too. I was like, well, maybe he could introduce the punt kick more, and then the RKO could be like a rarity, like maybe every so often, like rarely he could hit the RKO. Usually that's the case with the punt kick. Usually the punt kick comes every so often, like it's rare. We don't really see it that often. But I was predicting that maybe it would be the other way around now. Basically the punt kick was a special move. Obviously, it was special. So when you see him hit it, that's the last time you're gonna see him hit it for another freaking couple months, maybe a year and a half or something, because that's how rare it is to see Randy Orton hit that move. Except in this case, I wasn't hoping for it, but like I was predicting that it would be the other way around, that, the RKO would be like a special thing to see, like maybe rarely we would see it. But that's not the case here. He hit like 4 RKOs tonight in this match. Anyway, the match starts. Randy Orton's here. The match starts. Let the War Games begin. Lariats and a snap scoops power slam for Dominic. Another power slam for JD McDonough. Smashing them both into the cage walls, and the Viper's fired up. Hanging DDT on Balor, of course, where he puts the opponent on the middle rope, and he does this DDT. The crowd's going mental for this. McIntyre and Priest cut him off. Boots in the corner, but the rest of the babyface team wake up and take the brawl wide. That basically leads to everybody doing Randy Orton's move, where Randy Orton sets them up on the middle rope and he does the TDT. Every babyface here was doing it to all of the Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre, and at the same time, simultaneously, they all hit that DDT, and that crowd went mental for that. And the camera shot for this was freaking incredible. It was like the camera shot like above the cage, and you seen everybody like in the DDT position in the middle of the holding all of the Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre in the middle of the middle rope, and they all at the same time simultaneously hit the DDT. The crowd goes mental for this. They went bananas. Oh man, it was just such a really cool match, honestly. Judgment Day and Drew all trapped in the middle, hanging DDTs from everyone on everyone. Of course, that's what I just said. Orton goes to that special place. Of course, he's banging his elbows on the ground. You know what's coming. Everybody knows what's coming. But he turns his attention to Jey Uso. So he's doing that arm thing that he does in front of Jey Uso. And at that point, I thought he was going to RKO freaking Jey Uso, but he didn't. He had a stare down with Jey. And he points to his head and he's like, as to say like, hey, I remember what you did to me, just know that. But in this very case and scenario, I'm going to let that slide. I will deal with you later. That kind of thing. He was basically telling Jey Uso that kind of thing, like, hey, like, I'll deal with you later. Like, but don't think that I didn't forget what you did to me a year and a half ago when you and your bloodline took me out of action for a year and a half. Man, this is the most fired up that I am in this whole podcast. I know I've been really boring and just reading off of a damn article, but I don't give a crap. I am so happy to see this match because this match was so cool. But yeah, he turns his attention to Jey Uso. Stare down. Randy reminds him that he hasn't forgotten, but Uso takes Priest out with a super kick, essentially saving Randy Orton, because it seems like Priest was going to go after Randy Orton behind his back, but then Jey sees this and Jey super kicks him. Boom. It's as if to say, like, hey, I just saved you there, I don't know. Am I the only one that kind of picked that up? It seemed like he was saving him. But anyway, he takes Priest out with a super kick before he can attack Orton. And an RKO on Dominic. And the crowd goes mental for this. The crowd, they freaking exploded for the. I've never seen anything like it, and I cannot wait to tell you about this next RKO that he hit. Boy, this is gonna be one of the top RKOs of all time. It's got to be. Maybe top 5. We'll see though. Cody Cutter, haluva kick, diving splash from Musso, set this crawling up on the ropes, fired up. They all have JD McDonough surrounded as he climbs up to the top and tries to get away. However, Sami Zayn and Rollins are up on the top of the cage. Freaking Randy Orton is looking up at him, rubbing, like doing this with his hands, rubbing his hands together, like, you better do it, bro, do it. Getting ready. The crowd is getting fired up for this. They're like, do it, do it, do it. And JD McDonough's just sitting there. He's like, no, don't do it, don't do it. And, oh my God, Randall Keith Orton, bro, freaking did it. Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn chucks JD McDonough off the top of the cage. Randy Orton hits an RKO. An RKO to JD McDonough. Rest in peace, JD McDonough. JD McDonough literally just got killed in this match. Poor JD McDonough, bro, poor guy. Just got taken out with one of the biggest RKOs I've ever seen in my life. JD McDonough gets thrown off the top of the cage into an RKO. Such a cool spot. In just gonna go off topic for 1 second here. There was one more spot of the night that I forgot in the women's War Games match, and that was Charlotte Flair going to the top of the cage and doing a super moonsault off the top on top of everybody. I do apologize for forgetting that. I can't believe I forgot that, but that was literally probably the second best moment of that match, was Charlotte Flair going up to the top of the cage and doing a moonsault on top of everybody. But anyway, back on topic. I do apologize, I forgot to mention that in the first match. Anyway, we're back on topic here. Orton hits that RKO to JD McDonough. Man, what an RKO. Cody Rhodes high fives him. Randy Orton tosses him. Randy Orton takes Damian Priest and he tosses him to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes hits him with the Crossroads. By toss, I mean like saying Randy's basically telling Cody, finish this right now. He picks up Damian Priest, throws him to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes hits a Crossroads and gets a 1-2-3 victory over the Judgment Day. More importantly, Damian Priest. Now, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, and Seth Rollins win by pinfall. Of course, Cody Rhodes with winning by a Crossroads to Damian Priest. 1-2-3. Damian Priest gets pinned. Now, that's the important part here. Damian Priest got pinned. And what's more is that Damian Priest is supposed to be, quote-unquote, the leader of the Judgment Day. Temporarily, quite frankly, only because of this match. And, man, is this going to lead to quite an interesting turn of events on Monday Night Raw. I can't wait to watch Monday Night Raw to see what's going to happen. Really cool match this was, but that was basically it. That was the end of the show. The logo comes up, and CM Punk ended up returning. But anyway, that's the end of this match, but wait a minute. CM Punk freaking came back, bro! You guys really thought I was gonna freaking shrug this off? Hell no! Okay, listen, let me tell you something. I was literally texting my friend. Okay, I was texting my friend. I was like, well, no CM Punk. I see the logo coming up. I'm like, oh, it's no CM Punk. As I am texting him that, I was about to send the message. As I was about to send that message, his theme song plays. And I almost dropped my phone, and I swear to God, I almost shit my pants, dude. I looked at the TV. I deleted the message. I just completely just backed it up. I was like, nope, back that ass up. Backspace. And I'm just sitting there just bewildered. The crowd exploded. win for this. I swear to you. And I seen reactions on YouTube for this for like a good hour after the event was done. Oh my freaking God. I was like shaking. I was almost shaking. Like, what? We thought this was the end. I was like, there's no way CM Punk is coming. I was like, at this point, it's the end of the show, no way. But then at the same time, that very little bit in my heart told me he was going to do it. He was going to come back right at the last minute. And and there was even a point where I thought Randy Orton wasn't going to show up at all, or he was going to get taken out and CM Punk would come out and help the team. But, oh my God, freaking when that theme song hit, that crowd blew up. That crowd, the Allstate Arena in Chicago, they blew up. And man, this was the perfect opportunity to do it. Only because of all the teases, and of course it's in Chicago. CM Punk's from Chicago. Of course the ticket sales were sold out already for SmackDown and for Survivor Series, and they had to open up seats behind the entrance and all that. And what a better way to do it than this. And of course they had some posts on Facebook like, oh, CM Punk returned on the 25th of November. He did this on the 25th of November, and now he's going to return again here on the 25th of November, or something like that. I'm sure you know what post I'm talking about, but literally, so CM Punk comes out, the crowd's going insane. They're losing their minds. They don't know what everybody's in. I mean, the camera didn't point to the ring where everybody's reaction, but you could just barely see like little tidbits here and there. Everybody in the ring was looking at CM Punk. Everybody. They were in shock. But there was no camera like pointing to them to see it, but you can see it like with people's live reactions when they were actually there live. And I do have to talk about something that happened at the end as well that did not happen on camera, and I will talk about that. But apparently after the match, before CM Punk came out, Drew McIntyre stormed out of the ring. Apparently he slammed his locker room door, he grabbed his hoodie, and he left the arena. I'm not sure if he was pissed about the fact that CM Punk he knew that CM Punk was gonna be there, or that he lost the match. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was the heat with CM Punk. That's my prediction. I hear that Drew McIntyre could be leaving the company because of this matter. But the crowd, anyway, going back to CM Punk, the crowd's going mental for this. Oh, they absolutely blew up. I've never seen a reaction that big in a long time. Everybody was on their feet. Everybody. But it was a perfect camera shot too. Commentary, by the way, was quiet the whole time throughout this. We didn't get the iconic "oh my" from Michael Cole or anything like that. I mean, they were quiet the whole time. But they did get involved in this, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But CM Punk comes out, he's going crazy with practically jumps in the crowd. I mean, he's hugging one of the fans, all that. And I found it really interesting, and nobody pointed this out, was that he was getting hugged by the fan, and CM Punk was like, whose game is this? Whose game is this? It's clobber, all that. And I couldn't think of anything but LA Knight. The first thing I thought of was LA Knight. I was like, is he targeting LA Knight? Like, is LA Knight going to point this out and be like, hey, CM Punk, you came out and you said, whose game is this? Well, little do you know, this, it's LA Knight's game right here, LA Knight, yeah, am I the only one that pointed that out, that he said, whose game is this? Talking about, referring to, in a way, LA Knight. I don't know if he's poking fun at that, but I don't know. Maybe it's just, maybe I should just put it over my head. I don't know. Am I the only one that really noticed that? But CM Punk's going crazy. He goes on one knee. He does the whole, it's clobbering time. The crowd says it with him. Oh, it was absolutely mental. CM Punk's standing there on the stage. Of course, he does this, and then the camera goes out. The show is officially over. But that was not it, because I was watching some videos on YouTube of people that were there live, and Seth Rollins was being held back by Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and some other officials as well. He was being held back. Seth Rollins was pissed. He was pegging off CM Punk. He was like, F you, F you. Now, you may be wondering, why is he doing that? Well, of course, backstage talk is that Seth Rollins and CM Punk do not get along with each other personally, on a personal level. They do not like each other at all. Or at least Seth Rollins does not like CM Punk at all. And a lot of people have mixed reactions about this return because, number one, it was a really good match. And maybe in Seth Rollins' eyes, like, hey, I just had a good match, and all of a sudden CM Punk comes out and ruins the spotlight for me. That's probably why most likely he was pissed at this because he just stole his spotlight because he just won his Survivor Series match with his teammates and all that, and I don't know, or maybe because of the fuel, putting fuel in the fire with the whole like they don't get along with each other, and this could be a work shoot, meaning that this could be for real, but at the same time, this could be building up to a rivalry with Seth Rollins. But now that CM Punk is back, there is a lot of things we can do here. It's going to be interesting, the landscape of WWE. Literally, I am telling you right now, the landscape of WWE has changed forever, officially. CM Punk returning for the first time in almost 10 years. This right here is the beginning of an era right here. The beginning of a new era. We will officially see TKO freaking throwing punches at AEW. AEW is probably on their knees right now just saying, oh my god, what the hell did I just do? Taking Edge from you, but you guys just took CM Punk from me. Man, that crowd went nuts for this. And apparently the only people that knew about this was Nick Khan and Triple H. That was it. And also, it was a very last-minute thing, according to Triple H on the press conference after the show was over. He said that it was literally a last-minute thing. Apparently, they were told, I guess they went and told the creative and all that, like, hey, get out of the way. They cleared up an area so CM Punk can go, so that way creative and no other people at all had any idea this was going to happen. The only time they knew about it was last minute. They were like, listen, put his theme song right now. CM Punk's coming out right now. And apparently CM Punk was supposed to return at the Royal Rumble. It was supposed to be a Royal Rumble return, but they didn't want it to like drag out and then the rumor go out that like his next rivalry, of course, which I'm guessing is going to be Seth Rollins at the near Royal Rumble season. But of course, ending at WrestleMania, probably with CM Punk winning the world title, maybe even Damian Priest cashing in. I don't know, but hey, but yeah, this was such an awesome return, man. Obviously, this was the top return of the night. I mean, there was no way. I mean, Randy Orton was a great return. R-Truth was nice to see, but CM Punk took the cake with the return. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I am dead serious with you. Nobody's taking the cake with that. That is the top return of the year, hands down. Hands freaking down. That is the top return of the year. But yeah, that was the end of the show. I mean, and like I said, Triple H was talking on the post conference after the press conference, saying that it was last minute, and apparently superstars were told backstage at the last minute that CM Punk was going to be there, and that's probably why Drew McIntyre left almost immediately after the match was over. He stormed off to the back, of course, slammed the locker room door, grabbed his hoodie, and he left the arena. There was a video, of course, online surfacing that CM Punk was inside of his truck or inside of his car, and trying to drive out of the arena, and fans were literally surrounding his car, and he couldn't even drive off because the fans were chanting. CM Punk, of course, signed an autograph or two for a fan and all that, and he left. That was it. Obviously, there's frustration backstage with this. I don't know what's going to happen now. But apparently we're going to have to see it. I mean, now at this point, is CM Punk and Seth Rollins men defenses now. We're going to have to see this for sure. There's no way, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. At one point, I even thought this was going to be a one-off. I thought CM Punk was just going to show up and be like, hey, just letting you know I'm here, and then he was just going to walk off, and that's it. But there's no way they can do that, especially with Seth Rollins getting pissed off. I mean, there's no way that they could just make him come back one time and then he just walks away. I mean, I'm sure WWE can get away with it, but they've been getting away with it for 10 years, but finally, almost 9 3/4 years in the making. Let me put into perspective how long ago this was. The WWE Network was never a thing, but they literally were in talks about making it, and they had, I think maybe even had just announced it. The WWE Network was never even a thing. The WWE logo was still the WWE logo from like 2003. Let me see what else. The mantra in the beginning was then, now, forever. Vince McMahon was still running things. Kane was still a wrestler. Better yet, Undertaker's streak was still intact. Even though a month or two after the streak was over. But man, that's how long ago this was. Looks like I'm getting a heads up that maximum recording time is 60 minutes, but I'm already done with the thing with the podcast anyway. That's pretty much the end of it. But man, that's how long ago it's been since we've seen CM Punk. Literally. I think Alicia Fox was still a wrestler back then. Ryback was still here saying, "Feed me more." Brad Maddox and freaking Vicky Guerrero, excuse me, were still here. The Authority was still a thing. That's how long ago this was. But anyway, I'm going to end this off here. I am so pumped to see what's next for CM Punk. Randy Orton obviously was caught, somebody was recording in the crowd. He pulled up a chair and he sat down in the chair and he waved at CM Punk. And, of course, he was doing sit-ups apparently in the corner or something, but I don't know. But anyway, this ends off this review. Sorry, I'm ending off a little quickly, but it says right here I'm running out of time here, but it doesn't matter. I'm already at the end of the show anyway, so thank you all so much for tuning in. Of course, man, this was an awesome Survivor Series. I thought it was a pretty cool Survivor Series. Of course, the talk of the night was CM Punk returning. That was the greatest return of the freaking year. You guys really thought I was going to shrug that off. Not happening. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. I can't wait to watch SmackDown and Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. Of course, I'm posting this Sunday night as we speak. It is 5:32 on a Sunday night. So I should say Sunday night because, it's freaking dark out already and it's freaking 5:30. But yeah, I don't want to go to work tomorrow, man. I had a 4-day week, day off. So Thanksgiving, obviously, and Black Friday I actually had off. I worked Veterans Day, but in replacement to that, we get Black Friday off, which is cool, which means we get the 4-day weekend. It was so cool while it lasted. I knew it was going to last. I knew it was going to go by so quick, but already tomorrow I got to go to work. Anyway, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Below, I will be leaving links in the description, of course. If you're listening on Spotify and you want to listen to the YouTube version of this podcast, the link will be below. If you're listening to it on YouTube and you want to listen to the Spotify version, the link will be below, of course, for that as well. Of course, along with my Facebook page, the Ape Squad Facebook page, where I keep you up to date on latest episodes, as well as other funny content, whatever, And yeah, that's basically it. I mean, I hope you all enjoyed this. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you guys next time. Again, check the links in the description below. If you're listening to it on Spotify and you want to listen to it on YouTube, the link will be in the description below to the channel, to the playlist. And of course, the other way, vice versa. If you're listening to it on YouTube and you want to listen to the Spotify version, the link will be below for the Spotify version. Tell your friends, family about me, freaking aunts, uncles, cats, kittens, I don't know. Tell everybody about me. Post it up about me. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. What an awesome night. Can't wait to see what they do with CM Punk next. Yeah. Peace out, guys.